In this week's reading, we'll of course learn about the non-kosher types of birds. And as our sages tell us, the majority of birds are kosher. That's why the Torah lists just the types, the species that are not kosher. And presumably, if we would know all the non-kosher ones, we would easily be able to eat most of the birds. The problem is that we don't always know, and many of these non-kosher species include very many types, and that's why the custom today is only to eat those birds which we have a tradition that they were kosher and our ancestors ate. Of course, the most common bird that both Jews and non-Jews eat today is chicken, and even though chicken is not mentioned in the Torah openly anywhere, tarnigol, although the word sechvi in the Sefer Eov, in the book of Eov, might be a chicken, a rooster. Whatever the case may be, the chicken is mentioned many times in Chazal, and we know that our sages ate chickens. And this is a great thing, because if we wouldn't be able to eat chickens, then all the eggs of the chickens would be forbidden, and then we wouldn't be able to eat mayonnaise and most of the cakes that are made. So thankfully, we can eat regular eggs, and we can eat chicken, and there are a few other birds that, in theory at least, Jews sometimes eat. But the vast majority of birds which we don't have the Masorah for, that we don't have a tradition that they have permitted, we don't eat, just in case. Whatever the case may be, this list of non-kosher types of birds includes something called Raham, which sounds like the word itself, or the root seems to sound like some kind of Rachamim, mercy. And I'm going to get back to the Hebrew word, and whether altogether we should be darshaning, we should try to find some kind of hints in the specific namings of birds. I'll get back to that a little bit later, but I wanted to discuss the Aramaic word for this bird, as the Talmud in Masechet Chulin and also the Aramaic translations bring something called Sherakrak. What does it sound like? Anybody heard of the term onomatopoeia? That's when something sounds like what it means, meaning certain words, like the clock ticking, tick, 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 right? There are various words, not so many in various languages, that sound like what they mean. I once discussed in a different video that the original name of the month of Marcheshvan, which was Bul, might be a type of onomatopoeia, because Bul is like bubble in English, right? That's when the rains start in Israel and everything is like bul, 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 bul. So in this particular case, Sherakrak sounds like screeching sound, which is what this bird, a lot of commentators say that it's magpie. And the sound it makes, as the Talmud tells us, is in fact like its name. Sherakrak, the Aramaic name for this bird, kind of hints to the sound that it makes. By the way, maybe in English, screech is also a type of onomatopoeia. Screech, screech, right? It's a type of screeching sound. Whatever the case may be, Sherakrak is a very interesting bird because of its Hebrew name. As I mentioned, Rachamim seems to imply some kind of mercy. And the Talmud in Masechet Chulin in fact says that under certain circumstances, this non-kosher bird, surprisingly enough, may become a kind of sign that Mashiach is coming. It gives certain conditions under which this would happen, and I don't know if this Agada should be taken literally. A lot of the Agadas, as we know, hint to various Kabbalistic concepts and various other concepts that we don't know. But whatever the case may be, it's this bird that may be a prelude to Mashiach in some sense. And in general, with regards to darshaning the names of birds, already as you see here and in other places, Chazal darshan certain names of birds, and sometimes Rashi brings some of this. But of all the commentators, I think Hiskuni, Rav Yeshayahu ben Manoach, is the one who basically tries to give every name of every bird in our list some kind of a meaning based on its name, some kind of a drash of what this name means and how it hints to the specific bird. So again, whether he's right or not, we don't know, but at least attempt to somehow explain the type of bird we're talking about based on its name, or its Hebrew name, is made by Hiskuni. So if you're interested, you could look it up. And by the way, the site Sefaria has translation of Hiskuni. It's maybe not even always an ideal translation, but it's good enough for those who are not so good at Hebrew. You could at least see some kind of English translation of Hiskuni. This commentator is not as well known and as common as many of the other commentators like Rashi and Ramban and Ibn Ezra. And mostly Hiskuni quotes other commentators without naming them. Besides Rashi, he almost never names anybody else, but he does quote Rashbam, the grandson of Rashi, and Ibn Ezra, and many others. So it's a good kind of anthology of sorts. The commentary of Hiskuni is often very, very interesting, and it's a good summary of many other commentators, as well as his own ideas, and Midrashim. So it's a commentary that might be worth for people who are studying Torah with various commentators, something that to look into, even if it's not not printed in standard editions, or in some standard editions it's printed in the back. It's not allocated to the main page as would be for the main commentators like Rashbam, Ibn Ezra, Sephorna, and others. And if you like this video, please press like and please subscribe to our channel.